Welcome to International Finance. I am Andy Kim, teaching you this course for the fall semester of 2024. Why international finance? Obvious. The fact that you are international exchange students from outside Korea means that you must have experienced the FX risk when you are converting your money into Korean won. What was the rate that you had to change, right? Number two, Starbucks, right? I bought it, I paid about 5,800 Korean won tonight, okay, for grande size latte. How much is it in your country, okay? If we think about the currency exchange rate between your country and Korea, that should tell me about the implied price inside your country. Is that implied price the same as what you really paid in your country? And the answer is no. What drives that difference, right? Identical goods, identical services, shouldn't they be commanding the same price, okay, in your currency? Why is it no, okay? Or why sometimes yes, okay? We're going to learn about that kind of things in this international finance class, right? Now, this semester, I have some significant update in my class. So that's why I'm recording this video for you, especially for you. And what is that? You're going to see it. First of all, I strongly suggest you to take it with my behavioral finance and fintech class concurrently. It is back to back in the same classroom, okay, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday. You will be with me. Okay, of course, you can take this course on a standalone basis, but there could be more synergy by taking them together. First of all, physically, you don't have to move because I'm teaching in the same classroom no matter what. And number two, during the break time, 15 minutes break time, you can chit chat with me, ask questions, or you can chit chat with your friends and neighbors and make friends with Korean guys and girls over there, right? Most of them will stay together and stay with you, okay, throughout these two courses, right? We plan to have a Bloomberg Terminal Education session at Mira Asset Center 1 building in September or October time. English lecture, by the way, which is open for everybody, including you, right? That is a great opportunity. You can put it on your resume, one line, and then being able to operate this Bloomberg terminal is a big plus in your internship application and things like that in global banking industry. So I hope you take advantage of it. And also, there will be the same session in behavioral finance and fintech class. And the Bloomberg guys said, we're going to open for both of the class students, right? So simultaneously go there together. Anyway, so if you take both classes, you will enjoy the benefit. Anyway, final exam, midterm exam, the percentage is there. Absolute grading. You are not curved. Why? Because if you are curved, it gets that, mutually killing each other. Too much competitive. And so I want you to make more friends, okay? But that does not mean that you are allowed to skip my class too much, making friends together too much. I will check the attendance. That is very different. So what's the difference from last semester? I check your attendance really hard this time. More than, if your purpose is to travel around Korea and then travel Asia very much, drop this course. Don't take it, okay? It's not for you. More than 6 times, you will get an F. More than 6 times, you're absent, no matter what reason it may be, okay? Unless it is really urgent medical situation, I will give you some exceptions, but then again, you will need to provide some medical certificate, okay, seriously. So don't be absent in this class. Why do I say this? Until last semester, I didn't care about the attendance too much because who cares, right? Like in American setting, just, and as long as you understand the concepts and you can apply the concepts to the real world situation and solve the problem, everything should be okay. That was my policy before. But I found some disappointing students gaming the system. so much, too much. So I said, no, from now on, I will check the attendance, right? Seriously. And then I will circulate the papers. There is a way I could do it. Don't worry about it. And another, update about upgrading about my lecture this semester is this point, okay? Supplementary book instead of textbook. Textbook, by the way, is by Un Resnick and Chulun. This one, International Financial Management. But there is a serious supplementary book that I strongly encourage you to read. We will go through this book cover to cover throughout this semester. Okay, that is by Chris Miller, titled Chip War. Chip War, what is that about? That's about this, the chip, okay, which is the semiconductor industry. What is this? This is memory card that I pulled out from my computer, my old computer. Memory chip. This is the part of the computer that remembers everything. DRAM, okay, dynamic random access memory chip. Who produced this one? This is Samsung Electronics. And Korea is the Republic of Semiconductor, okay? Unless this is North Korea, right? This is South Korea, right? You need to understand the key industry of Korea, where you are studying. Don't you think so? You're not in North Korea. You are in very South Korea. The key, most important industry in Korea, the semiconductor. How important is it? If you look at the stock market, the market capitalization, Samsung Electronics, number one, it takes up about 23% or almost 1/4 of the whole country, the stock, Korea Stock Exchange, right? So 1/4, a single company out of 2,500 different companies, right? Can you imagine that? And number two biggest corporation is SK Hynix. That's another DRAM player, okay? Takes up about 3 to 4% of the whole market cap. So you have every reason to study this semiconductor. No, moreover, you're studying in SKKU, Asia's oldest university, SKKU. And Samsung is the biggest supporter of SKKU, right? So study this while you are in Korea, while you are in SKKU. That's my philosophy, all right? I hope you enjoy that. Now, so through this course, you will learn how foreign exchange risk management and the basics, or how it works in global banking. And B, you will learn about the global semiconductor industry together with it. This is the centerpiece of understanding AI and the geopolitical risk in this region, US, Japan, Taiwan, Korea versus China, okay? Now, semiconductor, right? These chip producers, they are located in a handful of countries in the whole world. Very, very concentrated. But their supply chain is really, really globalized. So, and then moreover, they sell these chips to many, many different countries. So for example, Samsung Electronics, more than 80% of their sales come from offshores, which means foreign exchange is a huge topic when you try to understand Samsung Electronics or Korean companies, right? Or Asian companies as well, right? Very heavily export oriented, as the semiconductor is one representative industry that is worth investigating, well worth. So that's why I'm combining this with your international finance study, right? And you will make many international and Korean friends through teamwork and presentation. And you will learn how to operate a Bloomberg terminal. That's, the objective of this course. And, right. And if you go down the road, right, the history of foreign exchange in recent century, especially after the Second World War, Bretton Woods system, and then the fluctuating exchange regime after Nixon shock, and then global financial crisis, and all these kind of events, right? How did it happen? Why is it a serious issue? And how does the interest rates, and then how does the balance of payment affect your foreign exchange rate? It's well summarized in this book, but then again, the Bretton Woods system and all this kind of historical aspect of it goes heavily together with this semiconductor history as well, because it's all about the Cold War, and then the Cold War, the competition between the United States versus Soviet Union. It was centered on this very thing called semiconductor, the chip. And then the chip, right? They evolved, right? The industry evolved. First, they started with the CPUs of Intel and memory chips of Intel again. But then again, this Intel lost its war in DRAM to Japan. And Japan took it over because of the US was supporting them through this Bretton Woods system. And then the US realized, Japan is going too much, and there comes a Plaza Agreement. And Japanese producers started to go down the hill, and then Korean producers were coming up and beating the competition, okay? And then Samsung became the global player, and now number 2 or number 1 biggest semiconductor manufacturer of the whole world. And how things developed, okay, you're going to learn about it. And then there came China as well, with the breakdown of the Cold War, and how did this Chinese semiconductor industry develop. You're going to learn about it. And there came a different kind of competitors as well. One is called this kind of guys called NVIDIA, right? These kind of guys don't produce the chips, but they only design it. And who produces it? There comes TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Okay, a key player these days, right? What kind of business is it? Foundry versus, design only, right? Fabless. We're going to learn about it. And then this tells us a lot about the global economic dynamics. And the thing is, I want you to pay more attention to their FX risk management. So, semiconductor industry, we're going to focus on them, but from the perspective of foreign exchange. So in this class, you will have to do some presentations individually, first of all, about the company's histories, right? Many players are there, but tell us about what they are. So this semester, I'm going to give you much more time to talk. And then the more you talk, the more point I give you. I will talk less, right, compared to last this semester, okay? 40 minutes I talk, 30 minutes you talk. And then each class, right? And then I give you feedback about your presentation skills so that you will be improved in your final group project later on. So multiple times you do the presentations, that's good for your improvement. And then finally at the week 15, you're going to do a stock recommendation, stock pitch. Whether to buy, hold, sell certain semiconductor stocks. So I give you a list of stocks that you can pay attention to. So give me the buy, hold, sell recommendation. 10-minute presentation, 5 minutes Q&A. That's group project, okay? And then you're going to analyze those data on your own with Bloomberg or your Excel or Python. Give me all these intermediate results and then show me this time to show down your presentation skill and the quantitative skills as well. And then final exam will be there, and then midterm exam will be there as well. Attendance, participation, right? Each time you comment or whatever, I give you more additional points. Don't worry, relax, okay? And then again, it's not curved, which means absolute grading, okay? So as long as you perform great in absolute scale, you will get an A+ or A, right? It's not like you will get an A+ by killing your neighbors, no, okay? But strictly enforced is the attendance thing, okay? And here comes the class schedule that I propose. You will see it in your first week discussion anyway. And then we're going to, in the week 15 presentation, you will have to focus more on each companies, right? And you choose one company or two, and then focus your analysis upon their FX risk management, right? Their economic exposure, translation exposure, and transaction exposure. How do they manage it? How much relative to their sales? How much is it important, right? Assess that and then tell us about it. Number two, investor relations. Go ahead and watch couple of their earnings conference call, recent one, and CEO interviews on the television media, one or two, and tell me what you feel about it. Okay, so those will be a really interesting exercise of it. And of course, to prevent some free rider problems, there will be confidential peer evaluation scheme like this. So I hope you enjoy it and hope to see you in the first week. Thanks for your interest. Bye bye.